terms of where it comes out of an idea to found a program on humanistic psychology that comes out of the mid to late 60s. The people that were here at the time came through a very traditional set of graduate programs, and to see the value and the importance of a personal relationship, face-to-face, one-on-one, seeing the other as a person rather than a rat or a statistic or a neuron or a computer simulation model. So when they heard of humanistic psychology coming through the 60s, that's what struck them so forcefully, is what they always thought psychology ought to be. So they called Maslow, who was kind of the spokesman at the time, and he recommended Mike Ahrens to come to be their chair. They were looking for a new chair, and to start a program in humanistic psychology here. So that's really what the program is all about. Along the way, of course, the meaning of humanistic has evolved and grown. From the beginning, it always incorporated existential phenomenological thinking. It quickly came to also include a transpersonal perspective, and then also a critical psychology perspective. So it's evolved over the 50 years since we started here. What we did was we instead made the two-course core of the program to become one course in human growth and potential, and the other required course being the foundations of humanistic psychology. In a way, it's like the two wings, right? This is the more experiential, personal growth, self-awareness wing, the human growth and potential. And this is the more philosophical, foundational, theoretical approach question, the foundations, of course. So I started teaching that, having advocated we should have it. And I really took to it. And I think what it's become for me is a way to really look quite deeply at what does it mean that we're doing this project here called humanistic psychology. If you look back to the 60s and the development of humanistic psychology, there were two wings. There was this indigenous American wing, Rogers, Maslow, people like that. And then there was this wing that came out of a more European philosophical tradition, existential phenomenology. People like Rollo May, who was American, brought that to the United States. But also there was just a number of European psychologists and psychiatrists, R.D. Laing, for example, who really was building psychology on that basis. And then it really took off when a lot of that existential phenomenological stuff just came to the United States in the early 60s. A broken heart is not just an anatomical organ. And so to approach the psychological in those terms, you just have to begin by setting aside that reifying, objectifying, thingifying approach and say, that's not what we're talking about when we talk about the self or consciousness. We're talking about this network of lived experiential meanings. And in order to understand those, we have to set aside or bracket this objective attitude in order to approach the phenomena that people live on the terms in which the people actually live them. Yeah, that would be a quick answer to that.